works here. So we're trying to let some of this liquid come through and get the banana mush out of the way. If you were using paper towel, the paper towel by now would probably have broken on the banana. It might work on the strawberry. It's a little easier for the liquid to separate. Just trying to make sure I don't break paper. And so here's where you will want to be gentle and patient if you're using banana, so that you can get as much of the liquid to come through here as possible. Because the DNA is in the liquid that passes through the filter. And so if you don't have very much liquid coming through, you're not going to have very much DNA to show up. And so I can see where the banana is a little different than the strawberry when it comes to working with it. I'll tell you what. A little bit of liquid coming through, but boy, it's slow. So my strawberry gunk is kind of settling here. What I'm going to do, just to be sure that we have, one of the things that I was concerned about, this is just real, me doing it as you're watching, is that I didn't want any of the strawberry liquid coming around the edges of my filter paper. And so I'm going to fold this one out just to prevent that. And I'm going to make sure that we get a real clean filter here. So this is a little Coke bottle that I had already cut too. Let's see if we can get a little more of this liquid out of here. There we go. And that I'm sure is just straight right into the funnel. Good. What I think we might do is just let's change that filter and put the rest of that in this one and see if we can get as much liquid out of there as possible. Any liquid that comes through here contains DNA, but the more liquid you can get out of your solution and into this glass is going to give you a stronger result, more DNA showing up. And so that's what we're going to try and do here, is just get as much of this liquid as possible to come through this filter. Good idea to just drain some of that liquid off and try and keep some of the chunks in there. Okay, so we're getting a little bit to collect down here in the bottom, right? And here we'll spoon it through a little bit. Maybe I'll even lift out a couple of the chunks. Because really the DNA now is in the liquid, so the chunks that still remain are not going to change anything. And part of the reason I wanted to do this was to assure you there is no way to get this wrong. DNA is in all cells. Let's try and you want to do like you did before, just see if you can drain as much of that liquid as possible through there. If it works, if it doesn't work, I just appreciate you trying it. We've always in lab used the strawberry extract. I thought maybe the banana might work well too. I can see it's a little harder to work with, but we'll see what we get, because I know you don't have the opportunity necessarily to just go get a whole bunch of things at the store these days. And in fact, the last thing that we add to this is rubbing alcohol. And what I discovered was, when I thought I didn't have enough rubbing alcohol, is there's none on the shelves right now in the stores. And so in our lab, we would use ethanol. And for any of you that know, ethanol is the alcohol that you drink. I don't know if the alcohol, like in the alcohol that we buy at the store, is a high enough percentage of ethanol to work. But if that's all you have, then hey, give it a try. But the one thing I'll tell you is that the colder it is, the better it will work. And so I put my rubbing alcohol in the freezer, and we're gonna just see what we get here. We can. Well, we'll see.
Yes.
Ready to give it a try?
Yes.
All right, so here's the ethanol. So this is just rubbing alcohol that you have maybe under your cabinet. I didn't have a whole bottle, I have some. Now the key to adding the ethanol, it doesn't quite show it this in the videos, but I still would suggest it if you haven't yet done it. I'm gonna hold on to this one. Is, never mind. To, when you pour it in, let it run down the side of the glass and let it just sort of form a layer on top. Let's see what we get there. The alcohol will sit on top of this extract, and if you pour it in, it will just lay right on top of there. And any DNA that's in your solution, yep, you got it, will form little cottony, cloud-like fibers. And so even with our banana, let's get as close as we can, you can start to see all that cottony, stringy material forming above that solution is DNA. We'll let it kind of form, and there it is. There's a ton of DNA in our strawberry extract. It looks like clouds. It really kind of looks a little disgusting if you think about it. It looks a little, and we're gonna let it just form for a minute, but all of that cottony looking material in the alcohol layer is molecules of DNA. And so this is the DNA that has the instructions on how to build strawberries. This would be the DNA that has all the instructions on how to build banana. And once you have that DNA, this is the same procedure they do to extract DNA out of our cells when they're doing Ancestry.com or 23andMe. When they have tissues and cells left at a crime scene, this is the same procedure they do to extract DNA out of blood samples or hair samples or fingernail scrapings to help solve a crime. This is how you extract DNA from cells. It's really pretty simple. Once you have it, you can then analyze it. And the analysis, sometimes if you're at the doctor's office and they wanted to look for a gene maybe associated with a genetic disorder, they might sequence it. If it's to see if your DNA matches with some other DNA, they might do a fingerprint. If they're doing paternity testing or maternity testing to find out whose child belongs to what parents, this would be the DNA they'd collect and analyze that way too. So there's lots of things you can do with the DNA once you extract it out of the cells. All right, so you guys just give it a try at home. I hope you do. I just wanted to show you can do it with anything that you have around the house as long as you can get your hands on some fruit, salt, soap, some glasses. This is a flower vase. I mean, really anything will work. So good luck with that and show me what you get. Thanks.